right? So 1, and then we're going to multiply 3 one time. So think to ourselves, okay, so times 3. That's it. We only need 1 3. So 3 times 1 is 3. Okay, so this is kind of one of those things. So usually students don't have too hard a time with these exponents, right? Understanding this is going to be multiplied 3 times or 4 times in a row. That's 3 times 3 times 3, 3 times 3, like 2 3s. And then they're like, oh, 3 to the first power. So anything to the first power, right? So there's going to be a series of exponent rules you're going to want to remember. So this is kind of the first one right here. So anything, right, to the first power is itself. So 3 to the first power is just 3. Okay? All right, now let's think about our pattern. All right, so here we go, right? Remember, we're going to always start with, right, we're multiplying by 1, and then we're going to multiply by no 3s, right? There's no 3s we're going to multiply by. So that means if it's to the 0 power, then it is just 1. So this is another exponent rule. So these are, if you think about the pattern, then it helps because you don't have to memorize it. But I'm going to say, right, you want to at least have a general idea of what's going on here. Because even, you don't want to have to like think through the pattern every time. You want to memorize it. But, right, so anything to the 0 power is 1. A million to the 0 power is 1. Okay, so this is another rule that we want to remember here. So let's follow the pattern. Okay, now 3 to the negative 1. So we're going to have 1. We can always start with 1 times. Well, now we're going to, I dropped something. We want to multiply by 3 negative 1 times. Well, so you might think, oh, means that it's going to be a negative 3. But, that's not really what was happening here. We're just multiplying by 3 less times. So, right, 81 divided by 3 is 27. 27 divided by 3 is 9. 9 divided by 3 is 3. 3 divided by 1 is 1. So 1 divided by 3, right? So if you kind of look at the pattern, what's really happening as we go down, right? It's being, each time you have 1 less exponent, you are dividing by 3, right? And if you think to yourself, right, what is a negative is usually an indication of the opposite, right? So it's the opposite of what you are doing. So instead of adding, you're subtracting, you're removing. And so it's not, right? So this was also divide by 3. So how can we divide by 3 from 1? Well, remember, fractions are like division. And so what we can do is we can multiply by 1 over 3, which is, right, that is a division. Okay, so then the answer, right, so it's repeated division. So a negative sign is negative, right? So this is just 1 over 3. So, right? And so if we're going to look at this negative 2, we're going to start off with the 1 times, and then we're going to divide by 3 2 times. Divide by 3, divide by 3. So when you are multiplying by 1/3, then that is a way of dividing by 3. And then now you can see this is 1 times 1 times 1 over 3 times 3, which is 9. Right? So again, this negative exponent, notice these answers aren't negative. Okay, they are positive. They're just smaller. So as the denominator gets larger, this number gets smaller. So negative exponents are division. Okay.